Where I last left you, all of our setup was complete, and now it's time for us to code our opponent, which should be very, very easy to do. So we have our setup like here. We're gonna go ahead and in the assets folder, go ahead and right click and create a new folder. I'm gonna call this scripts. Right click this scripts folder and create a new C# script. And I'm gonna call this opponent. Give it a second to compile. Select your opponent, hit shift, click your other opponent if you have two. Go ahead and click add component and you're looking for the script you just made, opponent. There you go. Go ahead and double click and open it up. Like I said earlier, this script is super duper easy. Set our goal as the ball so that our AI is always going to be moving towards the ball. We also need to grab a reference to the NavMesh agent, this component that both of our opponents have, the NavMesh agent. We're going to be using that to move our opponents. So once we grab a reference to that, we need to, or rather grab a handle to the NavMesh agent, and then we need to assign the handle to the component. And then once we have all of those things, all we need to do in update is we need to set our destination of the agent to the goal. That's it. If you want a little mini challenge, you totally can. This is definitely something that's Googleable to ask, how do I have a NavMesh agent move towards a destination? Totally easy to do. But no worries, if you don't want this to be a challenge, I'm going to show you a solution for it right now. So when we're setting our destination, we're setting that to a position, which is like a transform position. So when we're choosing what kind of variable our goal should be, I'm going to let it be a transform, public transform goal, right? And then if you save this and hop back into Unity, on the opponent, it now has a field for a transform that's looking for what is its goal going to be. So I'm just going to drag the ball into there. Same with on the back opponent, drag the ball in, right? So that's pulling the ball's transform data, which is position, rotation, and scale. Now that we have that, we just need a handle to the NavMesh agent. So we're going to say private NavMesh agent, and I'm going to call it _agent. And notice that my scripting tool automatically added the namespace using UnityEngine.ai up here. Yours may or may not add that automatically, but in order to access the NavMesh agent class, we need to have this namespace up at the top. So go ahead and do that. And then in the start method, we're going to assign the handle, this _agent, to the actual component that we have on our opponent. So like actually assigning it to that. To do that, we just say agent equals get component, and we're looking for the NavMesh agent. And it's always good practice to null check, so I'm just going to check in case, what if I forgot to add the agent to the enemy? Like what if I forgot to add the component and then I try to act on it, our game might break. And then if we scroll down to update, we simply need to set the destination of our agent to the goal. If you weren't sure how to do that and you do a quick Google search for NavMesh agent Unity, you'll get the scripting API right here, and there is a method. This is what we're looking for, of what kind of code can we call. And it's right here, set destination. It sets or updates the destination. So let's take a look at how this is. It looks like it takes in a vector3 target. And look, they're doing exactly what we've done. They've assigned the handle of the NavMesh agent. They're using the AI namespace. And we don't really care what the example is. We're just trying to find the syntax for set destination. Here it is. So it's agent.setDestination, and then we pass in where we're trying to go. So let's try that here. We're going to say agent.setDestination, and then we're passing in our goal. But remember, our goal here is transform data. So it takes in three kinds of vector3s. It takes in its position, its rotation, and its scale. So we want the goal's, the ball's position. Okay, and that should be it. That should be everything we need. I'm going to clean up these comments here. Okay, and this is our whole script. That's it. Save your script and we should test it out. What we should see is that no matter where the ball is, these two agents are trying to get to it. Okay, I'm going to try to move the ball over here, and notice they move to the ball and he's pushing it right off the edge. Perfect. Now the ball doesn't have any respawn code. It doesn't know how to restart. So maybe that's actually the next good thing to do, is make the ball restart. And there it goes. If I move it to this side, they got it, pushing it off, and then they're just watching it fall. Perfect. Okay, that's exactly what we want to see. In the next part, yeah, we're going to code really quickly for the ball to respawn.